Imagine watching a 5-year-old child play in a park. If that child moves to a new country, they will sit in a sandbox, talk with other kids, and absorb a brand new language in just a few months. They will speak it with a perfect accent, without ever opening a grammar book, looking at a dictionary, or worrying about vocabulary lists. Now, look at an adult. An adult could spend years sitting in an expensive classroom, buying heavy textbooks, and practicing every single night, yet they still struggle to say a simple sentence without freezing. It feels completely unfair. Why does the adult brain have to struggle so intensely? While the child's mind seems to learn languages effortlessly. Today, we are going to travel deep inside the human brain to discover the exact biological shift that changes between childhood and adulthood, and uncover the real science behind why children learn languages faster. Hi, welcome back to English Joyride. Here, we don't just teach you English phrases. We take you on a deep journey into the science of how your brain processes language. Every week, we break down complex neurological research from world-class laboratories and turn it into simple, beautiful English that you can use immediately to transform your fluency. Today, we are going to look at the remarkable difference between a young mind and an adult mind. We will explore how your brain physically shifts its learning systems over time, and discover how adults can actually use their own unique biological advantages to catch up. Before we unlock the secrets of the young brain, make sure to click subscribe now. Why now? Because next week, we are releasing an exclusive breakdown on how your brain creates a permanent accent and the precise physical mouth exercises to trick your adult mind into producing perfect native sounds. You definitely do not want to miss that. Let us start by bursting a very common and discouraging myth. Many adults believe that after a certain age, their brain becomes rigid, old, and completely incapable of learning a new language well. They look at children and assume that a child has a magical, superior intelligence for vocabulary, but modern neuroscience has proven that this is simply not true. A child's brain is not smarter than your brain. In fact, in terms of logic, problem solving, and conscious focus, the adult brain is vastly more powerful. The real difference is not about intelligence at all. The real difference lies in a beautifully timed biological window called the critical period hypothesis. To understand this critical period, we must look at a fascinating concept we have explored before: neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is your brain's physical ability to change, grow, and build new electrical paths. While adults possess neuroplasticity, a child's brain is in a state of hyperneuroplasticity. A young child is born with billions of neurons, but very few connections between them. Their brain is essentially a blank, soft piece of clay, waiting for the environment to stamp a shape into it. Because the clay is so soft, a child can build thousands of new neural bridges every single second. When a child hears an English word, their brain cells don't just note it down, they instantly build a massive, permanent highway for it. As we grow older, a massive biological event occurs inside our skulls. This process is called synaptic pruning. Your brain realizes that it cannot keep all of its connections soft and flexible forever, because that requires too much daily energy. So, around the age of puberty, the brain begins to solidify its structures. It looks at the pathways you used the most during your childhood, like your native language, and wraps them in a thick, permanent layer of protection. The clay hardens into concrete. This biological shift is necessary for us to become efficient, stable adults, but it means that when we try to introduce a new language later in life, our brain treats it like an unwelcome stranger trying to break through solid concrete. But the physical structure of the brain cells is only half of the puzzle. The second, massive difference between a child and an adult is how they unconsciously categorize information. When a child learned their native language and a second language at the same time, both languages are stored together in the exact same part of their brain, a region called Broca's area. To a child, English and their native language are not two separate subjects. They are just different sounds used to get a toy or a piece of fruit. But when an adult learns a new language, brain scans show something completely different. The adult brain cannot place the new language into that original, natural zone. Instead, it has to build a brand new, completely separate pocket of cells next to it. Because the adult language pocket is separate, your brain has to do extra work every time you want to speak. When you see an apple, your mind automatically goes to your native word first. Then, it has to build an internal electrical bridge, travel over to the new adult pocket, translate the word into English, and finally send the signal to your mouth. This extra travel time is the exact reason why your mind goes completely blank during a fast conversation. You are not slow. Your brain is simply forced to travel a much longer, more complicated road than a child's brain. Let us look at another beautiful psychological advantage that children possess, which adults completely ignore. It is the concept of language ego. When an adult tries to speak English, they carry a heavy, invisible backpack full of social fear. They think, what if I make a grammar mistake? What if my accent sounds stupid? What if people think I am not smart? This intense self-help pressure activates a small, almond-shaped alarm center in your brain called the amygdala. The moment the amygdala feels fear, it floods your system with stress chemicals, physically blocking your prefrontal cortex from finding words. You enter a state of mini panic, and your language system freezes. Now, think about a child. A 4-year-old child has no language ego. They do not care about grammar rules, and they are completely unafraid of making mistakes. If a child says a sentence completely wrong, and everyone laughs, they don't go home and cry, or decide to quit learning. They just laugh along and try again. They look at language as a fun game, a joyful ride to connect with the people around them, because their amygdala remains perfectly calm. Their brain stays completely open to absorbing new data. They learn faster simply because they are not wasting precious brain power defending their ego. Let us quickly review the remarkable science we traveled through today. First, children do not have superior intelligence. They have hyperneuroplasticity. meaning their brains are soft like clay, making it incredibly easy to grow new paths. Second, around puberty, synaptic pruning hardens this clay into solid concrete to save daily energy. Third, children store multiple languages in the exact same natural brain region, while adults must build a separate, more distant pocket that requires constant translation. Finally, children lack language ego, which keeps their emotional alarm system calm and allows them to absorb sounds without fear of failure. Knowledge without action is just a waste of your valuable time. If you are an adult learner, you cannot physically turn your brain back into a 5-year-old mind. But you can use a powerful scientific strategy to mimic the child's environment. Starting tomorrow, I want you to apply a method called the input inundation technique. For exactly 15 minutes a day, turn off your analytical adult mind, stop analyzing grammar rules, and stop translating. Put on an English video or podcast that is slightly easy for you. Close your eyes and just let the sounds wash over your ears. Exactly like a child sitting in a sandbox. Do not force yourself to memorize anything. Just listen to the rhythm, the music, and the emotion of the speech. Commit to doing the simple task for just 7 consecutive days. By removing the stress of memorization and the fear of grammar tests, you will soothe your amygdala and allow your hard adult concrete to soften slightly. You will tap into the same natural absorption system you used when you were a baby. You will prove to your own brain that learning English doesn't have to be a painful chore. It can be an effortless, natural part of your life. It all begins with 15 minutes of pure, relaxed listening tomorrow morning. As we close our beautiful discussion today, please remember this vital truth. Being an adult learner is not a disadvantage. It is actually a massive superpower if you use the right system. While a child learns through blind absorption, you have the power of logic, strategy, and deep understanding. You can choose exactly what you want to learn and how you want to grow. Never feel ashamed of your slow progress or your adult accent. Every single mistake you make is not a sign of weakness. It is just beautiful proof that you have the courage to build a new path through the concrete. Be proud of your dedication. Enjoy your unique learning journey. And always remember to be kind to your mind. You are doing so much better than you think. If this deep scientific journey helped you understand your own mind a little better today, please give this video a like and subscribe to our community. Your incredible support allows us to continue creating these deep, science-based educational documentaries for passionate learners all over the globe. Now, knowing why children learn faster is just the first step. The next major challenge is understanding how to speak English fluently without that frustrating internal translation loop. I have designed a complete step-by-step masterclass on how to bypass your adult translation bridge completely. Click on the video appearing on your screen right now, and let us continue this beautiful ride together